Fatu.
Yeah, you were on the show last week, and a lot of people enjoyed the program, and they wanted you to come back and talk more on customer service. So we're here to talk about that again, customer support and customer service, which I believe is the provision of service to customers before, during, and after a purchase is made.
Absolutely.
But we were talking about last week the pros and cons. Definitely, when you say customer service, some people will say some businesses now don't have it. But don't you think this is also attributed to lack of training? Like if you have a staff, they should know the product that they're selling and also be trained.
Indeed, yes, Fatu. For any customer service to be very effective, the staff must be very knowledgeable. You see, customer service cannot happen in a vacuum. It is people who actually perform these services. It is people who interact with customers. You see, the wrong notion people have is they believe in their products more than they believe in the customer or the employees. So what you said is quite right. If your employees are not knowledgeable about your business, are not knowledgeable about the customers, are not knowledgeable about the products and services you offer, they are bound to make mistakes. In fact, what should happen is any person that is interacting with customers, we say, should be an information expert.
Okay.
You must know the products and services of your institution to your fingertips. You must know the customers' likes and their dislikes. In fact, we go to the extent of saying you must know every customer by name. Okay,
yeah, that's a very good thing, because sometimes if somebody calls you or somebody wants to say hello to you, call them by their name. That makes a big difference.
Absolutely, yeah, it makes you feel very good.
Yeah.
In fact, what we are projecting at in modern customer service techniques is the feel-good factor, we call it. You go for the feel-good factor. That is, you are not only making the customer satisfied, but you are going beyond their expectations. You exceed their expectations. That is what is called the feel-good factor. It is it is one of the customer services, we call them KPIs. You know, we call them KPIs. They are key performance indicators. Key performance indicators, one very good aspect of it is what we call feel-good factor. That is going beyond what the customer is actually expecting. It's very essential.
But if they don't know, if the staff don't know, is it their fault? I think it's the company's fault.
In fact, some professors, I mean, some authorities in customer service are saying in modern times, customer service standards are deteriorating throughout the world simply because there is lack of understanding and there is lack of coordination at executive and middle level management. Because I wouldn't risk the prospects of my business by putting somebody at the forefront, putting somebody at the customer service center, a guy who does not actually know the culture of the institution, the guy who does not know how to talk to customers, the guy who is very shy, the guy who is not assertive at all, the guy who is an introvert as opposed to an extrovert, the guy who does not even know how to answer well to a telephone. You see, the problem is there. And one big problem also, one big mistake that we make at those levels is by organizing what we call parachute training. Like we call in big experts who would just come in our institutions, train our staff, and exit. You see, the momentum would last very short. It will be short-lived, maybe in 2 or 3 days. The momentum will be there, but afterwards it dies out. So nothing stays in the institution to guarantee continuity of the impact of that training. So I think it is, in as much as the employees are at fault, I think we have to sometimes blame ourselves at middle and executive management level.
But also sometimes this has to do with attitude of the staff.
Yes.
In a situation like that, what can you do? Because if somebody comes in with their attitude.
You see, all that we are doing is to change attitude. All that we do is to make the employees sit up, to know, to put value on the importance of customer service. But you see, for me, what I believe in is, if I appraise the performance, general performance of my staff, and I understand that there is a particular staff whose attitude is not compatible with the culture of the institution, the person will be uprooted.
You'll have to fire them.
Well, I wouldn't necessarily fire if the person has not broken rules or regulations of the institution. But I would say I would better keep such a person at the back office.
That makes sense.
Than bring the person at a level where customers would always be grumbling. Customers will always be complaining because the person's attitude cannot be changed.
Yeah.
And we have people like that. Naturally, there are some people, like in all of you, Koku Mom, the Fadis. Naturally, you have some people who are like that.
Yeah, or if
and
you
cannot easily change.
If you are this, maybe you should choose where you go.
If you cannot choose, is vested on, people will choose for you.
Yeah.
In fact, if I look within my system and I know that this person is not definitely good to be at the forefront, I would definitely choose to put him or her somewhere else and choose within the institution somebody else I think can handle that responsibility.
Okay, Mrs. Sawane, we have an interview that Ramatulai did on this topic. Maybe we can watch that and then come back. Can we have the interview right now?
The Fatu Show and its customer service in the Gambia today. Are customers getting their money's worth from the services that they receive from organizations, banks, GSM companies, supermarkets, and even restaurants? Let's find out what the people say. What about customer service in Gambia?
Customer service in Gambia des na nga dem place pour dem sa soxla nga dem fekk nit ki soo ko nuyoo léegi mu fay la ba pare comme du la ibil kanamam bi mu ras ba pare sega di concentré si leneen pour mu laaj la yow lan mooy sa soxla du la ko laaj fii customer care bi dañu war a change daal seet nuñ ko war a defee.
yow dang di am confidence soo duggee place xëy na nga ne supermarket, restaurant, or bank, or GSM company, and they feel satisfied. Nah.
Do they feel satisfied because nuñ ma dee attene, du ma dee kontaan. Thank you.
So customer service daal dëgg baax na nag waaye on the other hand war nañoo try ñu improve at least tuuti suñ improve rek dina lii mun a tane si dëkk bi.
How are you?
I'm fine.
What's your name?
My name is Samuel.
Samuel. It's the Fatu Show, and today we're discussing customer service in the Gambia. So we just want to find out what your encounters have been in other institutions. What do you think of the customer services in Gambia? What do you think?
Well, I think the customer service in Gambia, it's not what it should be, because I believe as a customer, if I'm coming to get a service, I should get value for basically the service in which I basically want. Now, many a time, it seems as if people are doing you a favor by offering you the service, and you don't get your money's worth for it. Now, I, for one, don't actually take that, because, like, you know, I've been in and about, basically, and I know what customer service should be. Now, if you're employed to do a particular job and to serve a customer, I believe you should do it with utmost, even if you're stressed up, you're angry when you see a customer, you should gonna smile, you know, make sure they feel happy, but don't make it as if like you're doing them a favor. And nobody do me a favor, so my money, I'm gonna get value for it, basically.
So do you think there is room for improvement?
There's a lot of room for improvement, and I think it comes with basically the education. People need to be a bit educated about how to treat their customer, because believe it or not, the customer is the king. If you're working and you're having to serve a customer, the customer is why you're there, basically. The customer is why you get paid, basically, a salary. So if you don't treat the customer nicely, you don't, the institution you work in don't get businesses or don't get finances, and you don't get paid. You go out of job. So basically, so if they're the reason why you're there, why are you acting up whenever they come towards you?
Yes, thank you very much. What's your name?
My name is Daniel Jones.
Daniel Jones.
Yeah.
Daniel, what do you think of the customer service level in the Gambia?
You know, some customer service like this, like GSM network like this, they say that customer services, sometimes you call them, the phone will be ringing, nobody is picking the call. Sometimes if they find out quick the call, somebody will just answer you hello, and you're just gonna leave you and chatting with their friend inside there. You're just gonna be